Hey guys, first of all let me apologize for not being able to tell you nothing and not being able to upload any videos. I told myself to upload videos regularly, however, well, life does not move as it is planned quite often. However, in this video we are going to learn how to mix the paints, and that's probably one of the most important stuff that you will need to do after probably outlining the borders of your painting. So let's go into it. Okay guys, so as we are talking about mixing of paints, I would like just to take one colorless paint, a few colors. It's orange one and brown one of the paint for the glass, transparent one. It's one of our paints for metal surfaces. Well, it can be wood or whatever, yeah, doesn't matter. And one of our outliners. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to mix these guys and see what would be the result. And the way how I'm going to do it is simply putting a drop of colorless paint on the glass. Well, there is a drop from the Russian version of the video, and well, okay, so something like that. Yep. And then I'm gonna put a drop of other paint. So, for example, I'm just gonna put a drop of brown paint in here. Yeah. So as you can see, the drop is visibly for a few seconds stay as a circle. However, if you try to mix it, well, it would essentially make some kind of texture. However, this texture is not permanent for vitral paints, so the paint, as the density is very similar, will mix. Well, lessons of physics, yeah. Well, if you use outliner or paint for wood or metal surfaces, then of course you will have quite different effects. And this is what I'm gonna show you right now. Just to save your and my time, I already painted these things, so I'm not gonna waste your time of showing you how I'm putting drops of paint on the colorless one and mixing it. So I'm gonna show you already the final result, let's say, yeah. So what are those drops? Those drops are, so this is the colorless paint with just a drop of orange paint in it, and as you, well, the drop was in the center, and as you can see, there was a diffusion process, well, after drying, and this surface is very smooth. However, it's not resistant for scratches. So for example, if you take a piece of textile, well, not super soft textile, but just a t-shirt or whatever, and try to take dust from it, you probably will leave some small scratches on the surface, which you don't want. This is what happened when you carefully mix by the pencil the paint inside the colorless paint. So you have a nice and homogeneous color, it's a very smooth surface. However, again, its resistance of scratches are not as good. Here I tried to put, oh, you see, this guy still did not try it, even though I painted it yesterday in the evening. So here I put to colorless paint this guy for the metals, and well, it's very hard to say maybe on the video, but the transparency of this thing is much lower than this one. And the reason is that this is much more dense color. However, this is very scratch resistant, and apparently it's drying much longer, which I did not know. This is the result of mixing this guy, outliner, with colorless paint. So as you can see, well, it's drying as fast as this one, so after 12 hours it's already drying. It has scratch resistance, well, I can tell you by my experience, and it's changing the transparency a bit. So by this you can make your painting more matte and opaque, yeah, well, and well, this can be used if you are playing with lightnings, for example. So in this case I add the colorless paint with orange one, and as you can see the result is pretty similar, however much lighter than this one, and however it keeps the scratch resistance and dries also fast. In this sample, I put orange paint and spread it homogeneously, and then I put a drop of brown paint. So as you can see here, it's very hard to say whether this drop is brown or that the drop was placed in the center. So due to the diffusion process, the color of the whole drop became, well, between orange and brown. And this is what you need to think about if you want to put vitral paint inside, some kind of other drops. You need to do it not immediately, because it will diffuse all over the place. And this is the color for metal, and as you can see, as it's much more dense, it does not spread inside your colorless paint or colored paint with vitral painting. So what this tells you? This tells you that, okay, painting, there are several ways how to mix colors, and this mostly depends not only, by the way, how you mix the paint between one to other, but also on the properties of the paint. And just use those guys which are not recommended to use. On my experience, they are helping to prevent scratching of the more gentle vitral paint. The drying process is about 12 hours, however, as you can see here, it's not exactly 12 hours, it's a bit more. Just to show you, you see, it's not dry, and this one, it's much more drier. So the drying is about 12 hours, and essentially if you want to play with some input of colors inside different color, then you should use some time delay, maybe 15 or 20 minutes or half an hour, depending on the producer of paint which you're using, so that the initial layer would almost dry, and then you input something else, so it would not have time to diffuse all over the place. One more thing which I wanted to tell you is that I would strongly advise you to use a testing glass for paint mixing. Like, for example, this is mine one. It's just a piece of glass on which I'm just mixing some paints, wait until they dry and see what would be the result. Why I advise you to do this is because quite often if you mix several paints, then after drying they would look completely different. Well, not completely different, but a bit different rather than in liquid state. And then by this you would prevent getting surprises that the color that you were painting on your image after drying changed to something else. And okay guys, so I hope that was not too short, and in the next video we're gonna talk about painting itself. I'm gonna draw for you some very simple thing and give you some final advices on painting on glass. And don't forget to clean your pencil, as good one it's rather expensive, reasonably expensive, and by doing this you will increase its lifetime quite a lot. And if you like the video, subscribe and put like and put comment and do whatever you want. Thanks, bye.